All right, everybody, welcome to the second episode of Fourth Line Minutes, the podcast about pretty much hockey and anything else is what I don't know if we have a tagline yet. We probably should come up with some sort of tagline, and because that's what we're covering on this show. It's hockey related, and then specifically on this episode, Disney dropped a boatload of info on us late last week. I had no idea that thing was going down. And we are going to dive into that. So normally this is a hockey show first, but when things like this happen, I think like the entertainment world kind of takes precedence. But we will cover hockey first and foremost. Big news coming out of the hockey world, at least for Mr. Von Doom and I. But before we get to that, let's introduce him to the show, Mr. Kyle Sullivan himself. How's things
Hello, everyone.
going? How you been doing down in the Alabama state?
Just enjoying our mild 40-degree weather. It's just like winter.
Is that like your winter?
Yeah, you put on a hoodie, we're freezing.
Well, you've got that, and you will have a new Auburn coach, correct?
Yeah.
Now you're Auburn, right? You're not.
I am indeed.
Okay.
I am indeed.
All right.
Yes, Auburn got rid of their coach after 8 years, so applications, send them in.
Any idea of where they're going or no?
They're talking about Hugh Freeze, which does not.
He was like Houston or something. Ole Miss. Yeah. Okay. Really?
We don't need the NCAA snooping around Auburn any more than they already are. So.
And is he guilty of that? Is he?
Yeah, he's had some run-ins.
Really?
We're already on a basketball postseason ban because of some things that we've done. So, yeah.
Okay.
The heat's a little hot on the loveliest city on the plains.
Yeah. I mean, I pay attention to college football here, and like I'm a Michigan fan, so if Michigan's involved, then I'll pay more attention. But I mean, of course, I know about the Alabama and rivalry, with Auburn, but it just seems like it's been one-sided lately, and it's one of those things where college sports is better when like those two teams can collide and it's a meaningful game, and it doesn't seem like it has been lately.
No. Yeah. And even on the years that Auburn has beat Alabama, it really hasn't mattered because their record is just so impenetrable that they go on and win the national championship anyway.
Right.
So
what was I don't think I've ever asked you this. Where were you? What were you doing? What was your reaction on the
kick six?
The missed field goal return for a touchdown.
Well, down here, what we do, we have Iron Bowl parties. So I was sitting there, and it was very like all Alabama heavy in the room.
Okay.
And I thought it was over, and they missed the field goal, and I saw him catch it and start running it back. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And started breaking the tackles, and I lost it. I literally ran around the house.
Yeah.
And all the Alabama fans were just standing there, just staring at the screen, waiting for a flag. And I can't tell you the last time I had that much joy in a sporting event.
And you were never invited back to that house again, I'm assuming, or
it was my mother's house, so she had say.
So no.
It was absolutely insane, and it's one of those moments that they play all the time. But now with Auburn being so bad, we're like, well, those were fun.
Right. Oh, that's too good. Well, yeah. I mean, I was actually watching that game happen, and it was. I am one of those guys that root against Alabama.
Yeah.
So when it happened, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Unbelievable game.
And I've got no problem with Michigan. And who would have thought Gus Malzahn would be fired before Harbaugh? But hey.
They're talking about Harbaugh for an extension now. I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's ridiculous.
That's what they're saying. I've heard everything from he's going back to the NFL to extension. I really haven't heard fired too much, other than from the fan base, which they want to fire everybody, but it is what it is.
It's the cool thing to do these days.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get into, I guess, the guts of the show, we do have social media up and running on Twitter and Instagram, right? We do have both of those. I think
yes, we do.
The handle is Fourth Minutes, and on Instagram, I think you just search for Fourth Line Minutes, and we will pop up.
Fourth Line.
All right. So follow those, please, and thank you, and definitely leave some. It will be in podcast form soon. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get the podcast feed up and running. Once it does, it's easy, but just to get it started is kind of a bitch. So we'll get it going. For now, just obviously check it out on the YouTube, and we will start with hockey. Kind of one big thing, maybe two things coming out. You had just told me Wednesday it's looking like we will finally get some finality to what's going to happen for next season.
Yes.
So
the scuttlebutt around the league is that we're going to have some set in stone agreements between the league and the players union by Wednesday, and that'll also be the divisions, because as you can tell by watching Twitter right now, that some teams are flipping back and forth and where they're comfortable and the financials and all that. That'll all be squared away. I heard the owners and the players union worked all through the weekend and resumed again on Monday. So they're really pushing to get this resolved by Wednesday.
okay. We'll see. I mean, everybody's kind of saying this is happening, and just the league is the last one to verify it, and that's the one that counts. So until then, we're kind of just left to have guesswork, and but it seems like that would make the most sense. So we'll see. Maybe Wednesday we'll have some answers. And then we are, of course, Avalanche fans. And I typically don't wear like an Avalanche sweater on like any of the shows, especially this one. I don't want to. I love that you have yours in the background, but I do want people to know like this will be a all-inclusive like hockey show. But it just so happens that there was kind of big but sad news coming out of the Avalanche franchise, and that was the passing of Pierre Lacroix, their GM. The year before they moved to Colorado, their final year in Quebec is when he signed on. So all of that work early on in Denver and all the success they had was directly attributed to him. What he put on the ice did what they had to do, but he put the team and the franchise in a position to be very successful as soon as they moved. And I heard it was COVID related. I don't know if
that's what I heard as well.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't want to say it's like surprising, because it's just all around the world right now. But just when you hear it, you're just like, ugh, you just feel like that's another one that could have been prevented. Yeah, and he would still be here if things were different, but they're not, and it took him. So 72 years old. He kind of stayed away from the limelight after he retired officially from the Avalanche. So you didn't really hear from him that much, but I guess all reports were he was fine health-wise until this came along. So your thoughts on Pierre Lacroix and kind of what went through your mind when you heard the news?
Lacroix, I mean, the efforts he made in the early days of Colorado, I mean, it trickles down to today. The way he ran the organization, the way he structured everything. I mean, those fruits are evident in Joe Sakic and how things are run today. And when seeing that he passed, it was a pivotal pillar in Avalanche history, and it's a huge loss. And you're hard pressed to find anyone to say anything negative about him. I mean, you're seeing things from the Kings and the Sharks and other NHL franchises also reaching out and giving their condolences. I mean, he had a great impact on the league, not just the Avalanche, but the league. Handled everybody like a friend. He was stern but fair, in the words of Chris Pontius, but he was stern but fair. But he was a great guy. I mean, a huge loss for everyone in the Avalanche organization, especially.
It's so weird because he was that type of guy that if there was a player that you heard was kind of on the market, you knew the Avalanche were going to be involved.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes they didn't get that player, but a lot of the times they did. And that's because he was ready and willing to deal, and no matter what it took, he would land a guy. And yeah, the Patrick Waugh deal, it's all Pierre Lacroix. Who else? I mean, geez, you could just go through the
Theo Fleury,
Theo Fleury, the
Claude Lemieux,
Ray Bork.
Ray Bork,
It's just the list goes on of
Rob Blake.
Rob Blake, even the Eric Johnson deal.
Yeah,
like
he was a big
part of that.
advocate for him.
So it's just up and down his fingerprints will forever be on this franchise. And yeah, like you said, like how familiar does that sound that he can call somebody and get a deal done and not have to give up a king's ransom to get that player? Who's that sound like?
Yeah, that's
Mr.
Joe
Joe
Sakic.
So Sakic learned. He learned from him, and he kind of learned under him, and look what it's paying, the dividends it's paying for the Avalanche right now. It's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame, and it's even bigger shame that now that he has died, that he couldn't experience that to be, accepted into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, man, one of the best that there was at what he did. He knew how to do his job, and he did it well.
And I mean, he's one of the best, if not one of top 5, in maybe all sports of how he handled things.
Yeah.
There's not too many GMs that have that kind of reputation. They're usually viewed as just an obstacle in the way between players. But I mean, you can look at everyone reaching out, former players, current Avs. Those have been traded. Like Matt Duchene even had good words to say about him.
Right.
Like you don't see that with GMs in any sport really these days anymore. And the way he did things, it was because he loved the Avalanche and wanted the best for the Avalanche year in and year out. He wasn't about making a ton of money off the team and then making a profit and leaving. He genuinely loved the Avalanche and everyone involved. So yeah, it's a huge loss, but a great man.
Yeah. Oh no, it's too bad. So be interesting to see what the Avalanche do. Obviously they'll have that's the other part of it. In the beginning of this season, we're probably not going to have fans. So do they hold off on doing that big, scoreboard appreciation video until they can get fans back into the arena? Or should they do it now just because, it's the season following his death? Do they come out with some sort of commemorative patch?
I was just about to say they got to weave it in that 25 patch somewhere. I mean, he is very much a part of that 25.
Yeah.
So he's got to be incorporated in that patch somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. It was shocking. It wasn't just, you're never really prepared to hear news on, somebody passing away, but it's too bad. It's too bad in the way that he went. It's too bad. So I guess, thanks for everything that you did for the Avalanche, because if it wasn't for you, they probably would not be holding up 2 Stanley Cups.
No.
So, all right. Let's transition, because there's no easy way to transition from that, but we will jump into everything Disney came out with. So Disney decided to have a, how do they call it? Investors meet. It wasn't an investors meeting. Investors presentation. I think it was.
It's a seismic charge, is what it was.
No clue that they were doing this, and it was basically like an E3 or Comic-Con or whatever you want to call it. They just called it an investors presentation. And they dropped so much stuff from Star Wars to Marvel to Pixar to Disney animated features, you name it. And they kind of let you know, I would say, most of everything that's coming out, not just for the year 2021, but 2022 and 2023. So this was a big freaking deal that nobody really knew was happening. And if they did know it was happening, because they told the investors, but I don't think anybody expected them to just do what they were doing. What was your impression of just the overall breadth of everything that they dropped?
It was in machine gun form. There was announcement after announcement after announcement.
Yeah.
You honestly had to go back and look through the list about 2 or 3 times just to make sure you retained most of it. I think it was 53 projects they announced.
Was that the total of it? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and it was just in a 4-hour block.
Which
was
went
amazing.
by really quick, by the way, because you're just taking all this in, and it's just so much awesomeness, and it just kept coming. They just kept throwing another trailer out or just another little bit of information, and it was just it was incredible. And I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, 2020 not, you know, just being the worst year of our lives, and them not coming out with a lot of stuff. I think there was, you know, when Disney Plus came out just over a year ago now, I think a lot of people were expecting a lot of this original material. A lot of it got pushed back because of you know, the coronavirus. So I think they really wanted to let people know that all of this stuff that we told you we had planned, we are definitely still working on that, and here's when it's coming, which is why you heard them say this is coming out in 2023, because they could have held on to that. They could have not, you know, they could have waited till next year to do that. They could have just came out with what's in 2021, but I think they really wanted to drum up a lot of excitement after the crap year we just went through, and say, here's everything that we're working on. Might not come out in 2021, but we're working on it.
Yeah, we mentioned last episode when we were talking about some Star Wars and Marvel properties, like it's been like a year since we've seen anything Marvel, like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, man.
And we were talking about that huge gap and that it felt weird. And fast forward not even a week, and we were going back and forth like, man, did you see this? Did you see this? And we're sending like trailers.
Yeah.
And then we got to the point where we had to put our phone down because we were missing stuff.
I know, it was coming so fast.
I was like,
well, yeah.
And then I think this was Disney saying, hey, I know things are rough. I know we had that little dry spell, but we're not going to have to worry about that for a while.
Right. Right.
It's a little bit more reassuring to everybody.
Man. So why don't we dive in here? We'll start with some good old Star Wars and kind of go on from there. I think the big thing, well, there's a lot of big things.
There's a lot.
I mean, I got to stop saying that because there's a lot of big things coming out of this. But I think what a lot of people wanted to see was, where would Disney go in the movie aspect with Star Wars? The Disney trilogy overall, not well received. I thought it was enjoyable. Are they the best films in the all 9? No, definitely not. But I don't hate on them as much as other people do. But now that that's out of the way, I think now Disney is ready to kind of like flex their Star Wars wings and go in a lot of different directions. And I think, well, we got one title and another project in development. The one title and project we got, I think, is exciting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is Rogue Squadron.
And I was a huge fan of the game back in the day.
So which one was the game? Because I remember playing something on like, was it like
PS2?
I think it was PlayStation 2, right? Yeah. Let me keep talking because I want to look up like the if I can see the box art, I think I'll know if that's the game.
Yeah, it had the Starfighter, and then you had Rogue Squadron was fantastic. It was basically the Battlefront dogfights, just a whole PlayStation 2 game of it.
Let me see. Is this it here? I can tell. Let's see if that can come into focus.
That's Rogue Squadron. That was the GameCube game.
GameCube game. All right, let me see if I can find.
It should be Rogue Squadron PS2.
I know, man. I know I played. I can't remember what it was called. Wait, here we go. Let me see.
Might have been original Xbox.
No, here's the one. Rebel Assault was the one I played. Rebel Assault 2 was the one I played.
Yeah, those were in that line on GameCube. Like started on 64 and ended on GameCube.
And Rebel Assault 2 was just for PlayStation 1.
Okay.
So that's the one that I played all the time. So Rogue Squad, I don't know if I really I might have just played it in passing when a friend had it or something like that. But I never got into it.
It was dogfights with some storyline, and it was it was so good. And then like, especially like growing up playing those games, like thinking of like when you rewatch the movies, like what are those pilots thinking? Like their motivation.
Right.
And now it sounds like that's going to be our next feature film
Yeah.
is exactly what we were all like coming up with in our minds
Yeah.
as we were much younger. So I'm super excited about this.
So it says the next Star Wars feature film will be Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins from Wonder Woman. Story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So,
Top Gun, Star Wars.
yeah, dude. I mean, that's going to be really, I mean, that can be like action-packed stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be, and that's what they said, like the next feature film. So this is the next, when we are going to a movie theater to see something Star Wars, this is it. There's nothing in between here and then. Rogue Squadron is the next Star Wars movie. So I think it's cool. I think it's, going in a different direction. We'll see who like the villain is, or villains maybe. I don't know. But definitely excited for that. Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
And then the next one, which is untitled, brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award winner Taika Waititi, is in development. Taika's approach to Star Wars will be fresh, unexpected, and unique, said Kennedy. His enormous talent and sense of humor will ensure that audiences are in for an unforgettable ride. And I had talked to Mark about this. I don't know if you listened to the other show that, yeah. So, and I kind of forgot he was the director of, or I don't know if he was the director, but he was in Jojo Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yes.
I didn't know that was him who played Hitler. And his version of Hitler is great because he makes him a goof.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people want to see. People don't want to see, like, everybody knows the Hitler that, it did awful, terrible things. So they took him and made him a joke.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So go ahead.
And the only thing that they're giving you as a teaser is that weird font they use for the Star Wars thing, which looks like the old Tootsie Roll Pop font, or
Okay.
Monty Python in a way.
Right.
Like if they take the silly, like the seriousness, and kind of embellish on it, or just the out there stuff and embellish on it, and with his vision, I think this is going to be a good.
I think it could
movie.
work. And this is where I'm saying, like, this is where what I think Disney has wanted to do since they inherited Star Wars is do things different. Make a comedy. Why not? I mean, it doesn't have to be a straight, comedy like, Step Brothers or something like that. But, you can have it be, well, I think that's the other thing when I was talking to Mark about it, that he directed Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect balance of action and comedy. Why can't that be in a Star Wars film? And I think that'll rub a lot of people the wrong way, but I don't care. Like, that's what I like. Progress this franchise.
Yeah.
Stop doing the same thing over and over and over again and appeasing that demographic of people that want, that loved Force Awakens because it was a carbon copy of A New Hope.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Repeat it, rinse and repeat. I want a comedy. I want a Star Wars comedy.
And I think like Mandalorian is the first time they branched off and it be like a critical success. Like they tried like Solo, and mixed reviews, take it or leave it.
It was a good movie.
Then you got Rogue One, which is kind of a little side story, but it's Disney's trying to break Star Wars out of that linear Skywalker saga, where you get your stereotypical fanboys saying, well, that's not how Lucas would have done it. Well, it's a whole galaxy far, far away.
Right.
We can explore other stories, like the rest of these series that we're about to talk about. Like they give you a name, and then you get like mystery thriller, and like you get other things that you would never think of in a Star Wars title.
Right. Man, I just want something different. So seems like we might be getting it. I think if they had focused on the trilogy first, get that out of the way, and then if they had introduced Solo and Rogue One after the trilogy was done, I think a lot more people would have been accepting of it, because then they could have came out and said, we did our trilogy, we just want everybody to know where we're going with this. We're heading into new directions, even though Solo and Rogue One still take place within the first 6 movies, technically. They're branching out, and that was the start of the branching out, and people weren't ready for it yet. People didn't want it. They wanted the Skywalker saga, and that's all they wanted. So they scrapped everything that was after Solo, and it seems like they're coming back to it now. So, and like you said, some of these shows, the big one, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everybody's kind of looking forward to that. Let's see. So Ewan McGregor will reprise his iconic role of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi for a special event series on Disney Plus, officially titled Obi-Wan Kenobi. The series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Revenge of the Sith, where he faced his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice Anakin Skywalker, turned evil Sith Lord Darth Vader, played by Hayden Christensen, who will be returning.
What was the last thing he was in?
He kind of stepped away.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, he stepped away from like acting, and he even stepped away from going to Star Wars conventions. He hadn't started going back to those until I want to say like I think maybe when they had the D23 when they announced Last Jedi. I think he was at that, and that was the first thing he'd been to in a while. So I don't know if he wanted to go start a family or something or whatever the case. He might have done some small things here and there. I think he did some voice acting things like that, but nothing major. Yeah, he stepped away for a little while. So
yeah, I know he had that voice cameo in the end of the last of the trilogy.
Yeah,
and all the Force voices talking to Rey.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So,
so first of all, thoughts on the overall show. Ready for that?
I was blown like an Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan McGregor. That's awesome. Yes. Like I liked Ewan in Fargo. He was fascinating in that. And so to see him back as Obi-Wan would be great. But when they announced Hayden Christensen was coming back, I was like, my goodness, this is going to be good. And they announced it's going to be like a limited series run. So it's what you get is what you get, which is good. Because you don't want to muddle up that time period where it takes away that encounter in A New Hope a little bit. Like, give it a short little story. Don't give this multiple seasons. I like that approach for this.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. My big question is, how are they utilizing Hayden Christensen? Because this is 10 years after Sith. So he's been Vader for a decade. He can't take his helmet off.
No.
Or he dies. So is he going to be a big part of this series, or is it just going to be in flashbacks?
I'm curious about that, because in A New Hope, Vader, when he sees Obi-Wan, he says, finally at last, or finally we meet at last.
Right.
So do they even meet in this series?
That's a good point. That is a very good point. Yeah. Because, I mean, Luke is maybe just turning 20 or something in A New Hope. He's got to be a late teen.
Yeah. So this is 10 years.
So this is 10 years after that. So Luke would be 10 years, and then maybe another 10 years after this series. So do they meet up in this? And I don't think they will. I can't imagine that, because like you said, he can't take his helmet off, and if he does have it on, he doesn't voice Vader.
I wonder if this is like an Inspector Gadget kind of deal, where Obi-Wan's chasing after him and Dr. Claw's always escaping somewhere. You never get to see his face.
Yeah. What was the dog's name in that?
Gad? No.
In Inspector Gadget.
What was it? Penny and what was the dog?
I'll have to look it up by the end. I keep thinking Snarf, just because that's the most classic dog. That's the most classic dog.
All right, this is where you keep talking and I look up.
All right. So that is my thing with this. Like, where is Hayden Christensen's role in this? I think that it's going to be in flashbacks and what happened in the past, because he can't go to the planet. What? Go ahead.
Brain.
I wasn't thinking that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Penny and Brain.
Okay. Because if he goes to where Obi-Wan is, who's watching Luke from like a distance, he's going to sense him.
Yeah.
Vader's going to sense Luke there. and that's not going to work. So I don't think. I think everybody's excited that. I mean, how do they word it here? So this will this is what Kennedy says. This will truly be a day remembered, as it is confirmed that Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century, is what she says. I can't wait for this.
I'm curious to see where it goes.
Right. I don't know how they're going to pull this off, because you have to take into account A New Hope and them seeing each other and how they reacted when they first saw each other. Then you have to take that into account.
I wonder if it's Darth Vader does have some kind of semi-encounter with Obi-Wan and absolutely just obliterates him almost to the point of death, which makes him retreat to the hills to that crazy bin where he gets so disenchanted with the Force where he feels like there's nothing I can do. I got to wait this out. That's why he retreats.
It could be.
Because I don't know. Like, I'm just like trying to piece it together. I mean, if they're going to have to actually match up according to what they said, the rematch.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, they're going at it.
Spoiler alert: they both live for a little bit.
and is James Earl Jones coming back?
Ooh,
he's got to. He has to. You can't have him voice the end of episode 3 and then voice episode.
I really hate sand.
You can't do it. You can't do it. So that one is the one I think I'm most looking forward to, because I think that'd be a cool series. And how the hell are they going to pull this off? We shall see.
That's gonna be good.
Ahsoka, no surprise to anybody there. Rosario Dawson making her debut as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian. You know that that was happening. So again, though, I want to see what the storyline is. Is her teasing? I almost said Thanos, not Thanos. Thrawn. That would be a good match. Is her teasing Thrawn and Mandalorian? Is that where that storyline goes? I would probably say so. Would be my guess.
I wonder if there's not. I mean, I would say there's probably like 60% of your typical like viewing audience on Disney Plus did not go through all of Clone Wars.
Probably
so they're probably there's probably going to have to. Season 1 of Ahsoka is going to have to do a lot of backstory
retreading. That's true. So we'll look forward to that. Rangers of the New Republic, set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, the new live action series from executive producers Favreau and Filoni, will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event. So this seems to be a kind of like not a spin-off of The Mandalorian, but something that's just happening during the same timeline as Mandalorian. So
I wonder if it's like the way they're kind of like the verbiage they were using in that press release. I wonder if it's like the DC Legends of Tomorrow for the Star Wars universe.
Never watched it.
Okay, it's the Flash and the Arrow and all that. It all culminated in that Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay,
where they had all the heroes in there, like time traveling and whatever. I wonder if it's like Mando and Cara Dune and Boba Fett, all together doing missions.
Could be interesting. If Mandalorian gets better, could be interesting.
Oh, come on! He took off his helmet for you.
He did.
He listens to the show.
Yeah. Lando, and that is a show on Lando Calrissian.
Which Lando?
Yes, that is the question. Because at the end of Rise of Skywalker, it seemed like he was going to get back into maybe some questing and with the girl that he was with.
But if you're doing a series, do you really want to watch a series of Billy D. Williams, or do you really want to watch Childish Gambino?
And I heard it was him. Like after the fact, I can't remember where I read it. It might have been like Nerdist or something like that. Kind of confirmed that it was.
I think that would be a little bit more interesting, and maybe give some more love to that Solo universe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I don't have a date on any of these, but they're coming.
I mean, you can almost double it up and have like Han Solo appear every now and then.
Yeah. Yep.
Give that movie a little bit more
clout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Credence. Yeah.
Andor, a tense, nail-biting spy thriller created by Tony Gilroy, is set to arrive in Disney Plus in 2022. Diego Luna reprises the role of rebel spy Cassian Andor from Rogue One. Will be joined by a fantastic new cast, includes Stellan Skarsgård, who I love that guy, Adria Arjona, Fiona Shaw, Denise Go, I don't know who that is, and a couple other people. Oh, and including Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma, which is kind of cool.
Good.
Production kicked off 3 weeks ago in London, so they are currently filming that. I think that could be a cool show.
And it'll be like Lando for Solo. This will be for Rogue One. So.
Exactly. And I thought he was a really cool character. I liked Rogue One. I thought that was a really good movie. I thought it was really good performances, really cool characters. So I'm kind of looking forward to that one too.
I think I appreciated that movie a little bit more after they added the maps to Battlefront.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Couple more from Star Wars. The Acolyte. Leslie Headland, Emmy Award nominated creator of the mind-bending series Russian Doll on Netflix, which I have not watched, but I've heard really good things about, brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus with The Acolyte. It's a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. And the High Republic are stories that are coming out next month in January, a whole new series of books. So it's kind of coinciding with those. So again, and the wording here, like mystery thriller for that, for Andor, it's a nail-biting spy thriller.
Yeah.
For the other one, it's a comedy. So they're
realizing that you don't have to have a lightsaber to sell Star Wars.
Exactly. And everybody loves the lightsabers, and we'll always have lightsabers. But there's more to the Star Wars universe. Yeah, you're right. And then Star Wars Bad Batch. And if you had watched Clone Wars, Bad Batch was introduced during the last episode or last season of Clone Wars. And it kind of follows them as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in the intermediate aftermath of Clone Wars. Members of Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in the Clone Army, each possess a singular exceptional skill, which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers and a formidable crew. In the post-Clone War era, they will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find new purpose. Just says it will arrive on Disney Plus. Doesn't say when, but for people for people who are Clone Wars fans and want to see that continue, this is your kind of continuation of it in some form. Definitely. Couple other things. Star Wars Visions. Kind of like I get, what is it, like a series of short animated films celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. So kind of like those little bites that are all over on Disney Plus. Those
like 2-3 minutes. You remember like the Matrix, the special edition where they had all those animated special edition Matrix, and they had a Batman one a couple years ago.
Did they?
Where it was like a couple different like animators make their own take on Batman.
Okay.
It'll be the same thing for Star Wars.
Like that, yeah. So that's coming. A droid story is coming where they follow R2-D2 and 3PO. Okay, could be cool. Next installment of Indiana Jones and Willow.
Oh, that one. that one made my day.
Really?
My girlfriend, she showed me Willow a couple months ago. She's like, I can't believe you've never seen this. She's like, it was one of my favorite movies growing up. And I watched it. I was like, how did I miss this?
Really?
It was incredible. And then they announced like a series with Warwick Davis. So I was just like, bring it on.
Yeah. Oh, man, I got to go back and watch. I haven't watched it, and I can't tell you how long. It's been so long. Right now it's on Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch it because it's been so long. But yeah, I remember it was a great movie.
Oh, it was so good. I don't know how it fell in between the cracks. It was so good.
What year did that come out?
8? Was that in the 8? Like,
oh, I think it's got to be late 80s. Let me see. Look it up.
88, 89?
I think so. I think it's Yeah, pushing the 90s. Willow, 88.
88.
88. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
last thing I saw Warwick Davis in was Harry Potter.
yeah, oh, who's that? Yeah, the guy with
Yeah.
the glasses. Like, yeah,
Yeah, this Harry Potter down the middle.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Star Wars. Good, great stuff coming from there.
Yeah.
Been
I
waiting.
almost wish Droid's story would have encompassed the full catalog of Disney. Would have been a Disney Junior show, because I mean I have kids, and Droid's story would have been a great Disney
Maybe
Junior
it will.
show.
Maybe it will be. I don't know if they really went into too much detail on that one, but it's possible that it could be.
Because I mean I think that would, like, C-3PO R2-D2 would make a great
Yeah,
kid show.
they're hits with the kids. All right, moving over into Marvel. Marvel, I think, was the last thing shown in the presentation, which kind of, to me, kind of just kind of says where Disney is.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars was one of the first ones, so maybe it was Star Wars, like, to get everybody, because this stuff hits the Twitter and Facebook like instantly. So if maybe they put Star Wars in the beginning to get people like, what's going on, or what is Disney doing with all this Star Wars posts, and then they saved maybe their cash cow for last with Marvel, and it did not disappoint. A lot of it stuff we already knew, but some of it we got trailers on, including a new trailer for WandaVision, which
That looks so good.
cannot wait for, and we don't have to wait too much longer. 1 month, and we'll be getting that. New Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer.
Looks good.
Which looks really good.
Looks good.
It seems like it's going to be, Falcon kind of having some trepidation of taking that mantle.
Yeah.
And Bucky kind of like trying to lead him in the direction to do it.
Yeah.
But man,
which is a good story to tell. So
yeah, I mean, it's the right story to tell, because it's not just like Falcon will just be like, oh, you're done being Cap, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that.
No,
like, he knows he's got big, massive shoes to fill, and it's not just like he's just gonna wake up the next day and I'm the new Captain America. It's like, no, doesn't go that way. So, but man, the production value in that looks movie quality.
Yeah,
looks awesome. Loki, I think Loki looked, of all of everything shown, I think it might have been one of my favorite things, and I was not anticipating that.
When he showed up on screen as DB Cooper, I was like, oh my god, what are we in for?
So that's kind of where this show is going. I think it's going to be like a Quantum Leap type of show, where he goes to different time periods and has to solve some mystery, because he's
Marvel Doctor Who.
Yes. Yeah, man. Like I am really, and why he has to do this, I kind of want to know. He's almost like in some prison or something like that. Like, he's arrested, and and it seems like he has no choice. Like, this is what he has to do. And just the fact that Loki, who's a god, has to do this stuff. Why? Because this is his sentence or something. I don't know,
and it's one of those that you have to be so careful about what you do in time travel. I wonder if he takes these elusive characters in history, and becomes these urban legends just to get through that period of time without screwing everything up
right
around him.
Yeah Man, that looks good. Hawkeye, didn't really get a trailer or anything on that, but that's coming in fall 2021. The What If
Everyone's
series,
favorite Avenger.
Hawkeye. says 1% of the fan base.
Everybody's favorite bow shooting Avenger.
The What If series looks 2 thumbs up.
Oh man,
I think I'm really going to enjoy that. If you never really got into the What If comics, like those, they re-released. Well, I don't want to say re-released them. They started it up again like a year ago. But those were some of my favorite comics to collect when I was a kid, just because you saw different aspects of the heroes that them in a specific role, and this completely turned it on its head. And it's like, no, what if Captain America's the bad guy? And so just that's going to be an entertaining series. Animated too. Animation looks pretty cool. What else we got? Kind of like a bunch of 3 new series. So Ironheart, which is pretty much the female version of Iron Man. It's played by a character called Riri Williams, who was introduced not that long ago, maybe like 2 years ago in the comics. So kind of like a teenage Iron Man. Female, yeah, looks pretty good. Armor Wars, which
That
will star
sounds
Don
cool.
Cheadle. That could be cool, reprising his role as Rhodey Rhodes. And then Secret Invasion, which, dude, the Secret Invasion comics are some of the best Marvel has ever come out with. Kind of saw this coming with Captain Marvel, but with Captain Marvel, they kind of turned that on its head with who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. That's like nobody saw that coming. So what are they going to do with Secret Invasion? It's most likely not going to follow the comic, which is fine. Civil War didn't follow the comic, which I was fine with, but yeah, really looking forward to Secret Invasion. It's gonna be good. One of my favorite comics, who I've been waiting for forever to get his own series, in Moon Knight.
Oh, thank goodness. I was waiting on that. Yes.
But they didn't give you anything. Like, we already knew it was coming, and they just kind of like reiterated that it's coming. Like, I just want to know who is playing him. Who is playing Mark Spector? I don't know. I want to know. Just give me that.
I heard Oscar Isaac was Moon Knight, and that's
really
here. Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. He's kind of like the Marvel version of Batman in a way. But nothing else on that. No release date, nothing other than it's still coming, which, okay.
Which, I mean, it's one of those that fans have been wanting for a long time.
Yes.
So just confirmation that it's happening is good enough for me right now.
Right. She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk can be cool because of what Kevin Feige was saying, is that, you know, she is a lawyer. That's her job. And he kind of said, he's like, because she's a lawyer and she defends superheroes, probably gonna be seeing a lot of cameos in this show. I'm like, oh, so maybe we'll see Tony Stark coming back, or
so it's gonna be Harvey Birdman, attorney at law for Marvel.
Yeah, I think this could be interesting. And
I like Tatiana Maslany, her show Orphan Black that was on BBC.
Oh, really? She's in that? Okay.
Yeah, she was the lead. That was one of the best little series that BBC's put out in a long time. And I love that show. I love that show.
Yeah. And Miss Marvel. So Miss Marvel will be coming out. And let's see. Actually, and Mark Ruffalo will be coming back as Bruce Banner in She-Hulk as well. Probably not every
Tim
episode.
Roth as Abomination.
Yes, you're right. Yep. Man, that could be an underrated series.
Yeah.
A really underrated series. So Marvel Studios is working on a new Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special for Disney Plus due out 2022. It will be directed by James Gunn, and the special will film alongside Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is also directed by Gunn. So they're going to release the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special in December, and then probably that summer Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out. So I mean, if there's anybody in the Marvel universe that's going to do a holiday special, it's the Guardians.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting.
And I think it's a good amount of spacing.
Yeah.
For this to come up, and we're all going to be really wanting that when it comes to 2022.
Because by that time, I mean, there's going to be a good chunk of time that's passed since 2 and 3. So it's a really good way, like you're saying, like to just get them, hey, remember them? Here's a funny, stupid holiday special. And oh, by the way, they have a movie coming out in 5 months.
Yeah.
So there's also an I Am Groot series, which kind of will probably be like the Forky Ask a Question type of shows on Disney Plus, which would be good for the kids. Confirmed that Black Panther will not be recast, which I think is the smart way to go.
Yeah.
Nobody else can play him.
Nope.
Can't do it. So, and in the comics, his sister does take over as Black Panther. So I think that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Third Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That's in development. Peyton Reed returns to direct. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, they're all back. Quantumania will also introduce Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, who is a badass villain. So
time travel villain.
Yeah, man. So it's kind of cool to see Kang get some publicity. And then I think the film that I think is just going to blow everybody away, the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Will tie into both the upcoming WandaVision and the third Spider-Man movie. So this is going to be crossing boundaries. I've heard it's a horror type of movie. Man, this thing is, I think it's in development now, or they're just starting it. But man, like, I think that movie is going to blow some people away from everything I hear about it. It's going to be a different type of Marvel movie with familiar characters. That's going to be good.
And this, with it being tied to like WandaVision and Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man 3 is slowly becoming one of Marvel's greatest cinematic feats of all time.
Well, more than like Endgame, but I don't know if you can get
like, they are like, it's my favorite thing to do is wake up every day to see what new
who's in Spider-Man now.
It's and if they pull off maybe half of what's rumored, it's going to be incredible. Especially if you grew up with Spider-Man being your first introduction into the Marvel universe,
which it was for most people.
Maguire,
yeah,
and you went all the way through, and it's going to pay off for you in Spider-Man 3, where you get that live-action Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
Yeah,
bring it on.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I hear
they have stuff.
Doctor Strange is something in the movie plays a ripple into why Spider-Man 3 is like this.
Oh, okay. Man. And then finally, new Fantastic Four movie.
This is what I was waiting on. Finally, do Doctor Doom correctly, please.
And Thing. Do him correctly as well. I mean, it's in the right hands finally. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's a tough sell because the characters in Final Four are kind of like, I don't know how to describe them. They don't translate well to a movie because they're kind of like lame. You know, like they're not like super exciting, except for like, I guess, Johnny Flame. But like they could be. And I think this is where movie making, this particular these guys, they need to be in the right hands to make them interesting and exciting. Because it's tough. It's tough, but I think they're in the right hands now.
Yeah, we mentioned this on the Lockdown Avalanche episode when we were talking about Marvel characters. Like 10 years ago, if I would have told you a Thor movie was coming out or Doctor Strange, you would have rolled your eyes because they're not interesting.
No.
And then Marvel Studios have done such a good job at bringing out the vibrant parts of the characters and making them really engaging.
Yeah.
I feel like they can do that with Fantastic Four. And the thing is, you don't need to make Fantastic Four superheroes. They're scientists.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're scientists that have abilities. They're not superheroes. And if they can focus on that,
right,
I think they're going to just knock this one out of the park.
I have all the faith in the world. But like, look what they did with Guardians. Like, nobody, when they announced that was, people kind of thought that was going to be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And like, why are you bringing these? Like, nobody's ever heard of them. They're kind of just like the ragtag team that you can get in the 50-cent bin. And now they're, you know, those books are going for like thousands of dollars.
They're getting a holiday special.
Yeah. So it's, you know, if they can turn that around, you know, Disney has the Midas touch when it comes to Marvel stuff. So I think this is in the right hands. The only thing I was upset about, I talked about this with Mark, no X-Men. Nothing on the X-Men. And
well, goodness, they gave us so much to munch on right now.
I know.
Who's to say it's not in the Doctor Strange movie?
It could be. I think, yeah, that's a good point. Real good point. Real good point. I think that movie could be kind of like a jumping off point for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So, but I did want to see some X-Men stuff. At least you don't have to say, like, just say we're working on it. Just say
Yeah.
like we have stuff in not production, but we're writing stuff. We're brainstorming, and it's in the works. But we got
they got a lot of things to figure out if they're going to reboot or bring everybody back. So they got some work to do.
Let's see. So when it comes to Disney itself, for Disney animation, you have Raya and the Last Dragon. That looks really good.
Yeah.
A new Baymax series, which I'm a big Hero 6 fan. I think this is cool. Zootopia Plus.
Yeah.
I love
I think
Zootopia.
it'll be great. I think it'll be great.
I think that'll be good. Because it's going to follow like the people of Zootopia around. And that I think like each episode is going to be just for like this family that lives in Zootopia, and the next one's going to be a different family. And the 3 that we got was like a mouse that lives in that little Mouseville.
Yes.
There was another one, but then the last one we got was Flash, the sloth, who works at the DMV. That is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in my life.
I really think Disney would have hit a like grand slam, like shut the stadium down if they would have took Zootopia and merged it with Creature Comforts. Did you ever watch Creature Comforts, where it was like the claymation animals talking like, oh yeah, it was a fantastic show. The premise was it was just somebody going out and interviewing people like at the grocery store or just in their everyday walk of life, and they had claymation animals sitting in a zoo pantomiming what the
these were the guys that kind of started what's that farm movie that came out afterwards?
Yeah, it was like Barnyard. They did Wallace and Gromit.
And Chicken Run.
Chicken Run, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they did Creature Comforts, and it was just basically interviews pantomimed with the claymation characters. It was fantastic. Zootopia,
so cool.
I feel like they're doing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
With just like everyday life in Zootopia through like.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, so they're doing a series on Zootopia, a series on Tiana from Princess and the Frog, and a series on Moana. So like, I love what Disney's doing here. They're taking their popular movies, and instead of coming out with a second movie, which they probably will do with Moana, I would think, and maybe Zootopia, I don't know. They could easily do a second Zootopia, just a different crime that they have to solve within the city. They're coming out with these, weekly episodic series. I think that's great.
Yeah,
because people want to see these characters more. They just don't want to see them in a movie. They want to see them like week after week. And I think it's brilliant to do it this way.
Yeah, as long as they give it like this, like reverential love that they should. Because I mean, we went through the 90s. We went through the Timon and Pumbaa series phase and the Aladdin series phase and
different. Yeah.
You got to give it some love.
Right.
You can't just do it to do it. Give it some love.
Right.
Like when they announced the series, like everybody else was singing its praises, but that's immediately what I went back to was, oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, no, different time then. That was almost just like, all right, repackage it and just put it out and people will love it. And it's like, no, you actually have to like put some effort into it.
Yeah, I hope they learned from those. And
I'm sure they did.
Because these are really good characters that you can get really good stories out of.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess the Moana one is a long-form musical comedy series. So, yeah. I don't know.
Like James Corden.
That would be a funny Imagine if Disney did that. Like did did it in a animated form, but like a late night talk show.
Well, they had House of Mouse that one early 2000s, and that was kind of that way.
Yeah. But that was bizarre. House of Mouse.
Yeah, early 2000s Disney was very bizarre.
But I'm thinking like almost do it like Space Ghost. Remember, like
oh man,
like something like that, and have like the real person just kind of like on a
that would be
TV. That'd be good.
That'd be a Disney Plus. I mean, you put it in a separate
Right.
tier.
Exactly.
That would do
Oh
great.
my God. I think we just wrote a new show.
Bob Iger, I hope you're listening.
I know. You know he is. Not. Encanto is a new movie set in Colombia with music written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So right there, that's got star power because he's writing the music for it. Iwaju, original long-form series made in partnership with Kugali Media, which is premiering in 2022. We switch over to Pixar. A lot more of those shorts that they have on Disney Plus. Pixar Popcorn. I don't know, shorts featuring iconic.
That's
Pixar
the umbrella for all the Pixar shorts.
All right. Doug Day is going to be a series following the dog from Up, probably in the realm again of Forky Asks a Question. A new car series following Lightning McQueen and Mater. Two of the more annoying characters in the Pixar
and
realm.
It's literally called Dancing with the Cars.
Is it seriously?
I think it was.
Oh,
I saw that from the thumbnail. Yeah.
All right. And then Win or Lose, it's first original long form animated series about a middle school football team coming to Disney Plus fall 2023.
Win or Lose, it's a softball team, and what they do every week, they talk about one game from each positional player's perspective, which I thought was amazing.
Seems really cool. And knowing that Pixar is handling that, I think it's just going to be off the charts.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Luca, kind of Pixar's first film based in Italy. So let's be about an Italian boy. Turning Red looks really cool. I think that looks cool.
Yeah, that looks.
But the 13-year-old girl who, when she gets angry, just turns into a giant red panda. I think that
I saw that and I was like, it's, I don't know. There's a lot of verbiage in that trailer that was like throwing me off. Like, what am I supposed to be interpreting here?
I don't know. I just think that has Pixar all over it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a really good movie for kids to relate to. I think that'll be a really good thing
because it's a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And most of, all Disney Pixar stuff revolves around younger kids, with the exception of Andy from, Toy Story. But, you don't really get that, prepubescent kid kind of, feelings and everything, all the changes and stuff like that. It could really go down that road.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it could be a really good monumental piece.
Could be.
Yeah.
And then finally, Lightyear
blew me away.
I can't wait for that. And a lot of people are kind of up in arms about this and like, why would you do this? And apparently Pixar had this written years ago.
Did anybody not watch Buzz Lightyear Star Command, the movie, after Toy Story 2? Oh, you can look it up. It's animated. It was a movie with Tim Allen as the voice. Buzz Lightyear Star Command was based on the video game that Rex was playing in Toy Story 2.
Right.
And that movie was so popular. It was straight to VHS. It was so popular, it spun off into a series.
Right.
Buzz Lightyear Star Command, the series. It had the best name of any cartoon character ever. It was a robot vampire, and his name was Nos482.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Buzz Lightyear had like his little space rangers, and it was a great show. And like it was like Buzz Lightyear not as a toy, but as a space ranger. So if you remember that, this movie is a lot easier to digest.
It makes sense. Okay. All right. And I think where it was annoying people or pissing people off was because Tim Allen is not voicing him. Chris Evans is. But I don't think this is the Buzz Lightyear that goes to Andy's house. This is Buzz Lightyear the toy.
Yeah.
Which, was mass produced. There's not one Buzz Lightyear. There's millions.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Anything Toy Story, I will eat up, man. I love it.
I think this is going to be fantastic and something I didn't know I wanted until I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sign me up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I didn't know this was coming out, But now that they announced it, I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
a huge Toy Story guy. Like I have Evil Emperor Zurg over there on my
Do you?
shelf.
Oh, I
Like,
love it. Love it. I
so bring it on.
And then kind of just some things for the National Geographic section. Ice Age. See, the thing with Ice Age is getting a spinoff. I've never been a big Ice Age fan, but probably my favorite actor is involved in this.
Ray Romano.
Simon Pegg. I don't think I have any interest in Ray Romano, although I do like Ray Romano. I know. I just don't like. I don't know. I thought Ice Age was kind of just cashing in on the whole kind of like Toy Story world.
What crazy world are we living in 2020 that Ice Age now has the Disney ears on it and could be something good?
I know. Simon Pegg's attached to it. I'm interested.
Yeah.
So that's really it. And then we are getting a price increase.
Yes. It's going up $1.
Going up $1. Not for me. Not because I get it for free. I pay for it. But I locked in for the 3-year deal when they came out. With that 3-year deal, lock it in for $7.99 for 3 years. I did that.
Honorable mentions on that list as well.
Mm-hmm.
Rescue Rangers.
What are they doing with that? Just rebooting it? No.
Yes, with Andy Samberg and John Mulaney.
Oh,
as Chip and Dale.
Very cool.
The Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Absolutely.
It looks terrible, but I'm going to watch it because it's the Mighty Ducks.
They're all terrible, but they're all awesome.
Rebooting Turner and Hooch.
Yes.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was one more that I was like, oh, that'll be interesting.
I think they announced the cast of The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. That's what it was.
Like the live action Little Mermaid.
Tom Hanks is Geppetto in Pinocchio.
Yes, and Pinocchio. Huge. That's cool.
Peter Pan live action. Yeah.
See, like for me, Peter Pan live action was Hook.
Exactly.
And you can't beat that movie, man. You
No.
can't beat that movie. Is spectacular.
So
I mean, I know it's a different story and he's older and stuff like that, but we got Peter Pan in live action.
Yeah, those were the honorable mentions. They might not be as great, although the Chip and Dale, I'm super excited.
That's cool. That's really cool. Those are two great guys to play those guys. Wow. So, man.
So I guess that next year we'll get the Darkwing Duck announcement.
Or the who's the other duck one that they canceled?
DuckTales?
No, the Howard the Duck.
Remember Howard the Duck?
They were gonna do Howard the Duck, but they canceled it.
Oh, nothing's canceled with Doctor Strange coming up. He's messing with everything. So
Howard the Duck's gonna be in that. Howard the Duck is actually in the comics part of the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
You're joking.
Swear to God. Yeah.
And they can't give any love to the Punisher. I mean, swear.
Yeah, it's a bizarre team right now, but he's a part of it. Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, well, run the simulation. I don't know if you've started it yet. So,
oh yeah, we are in the playoffs. I gotta finish it up.
Run that. We'll kind of wrap up here, and then get our NHL 20 champion for the day. And last week was the Colorado Avalanche. Was not fixed in any way, shape, or form. I can attest to that. I think they beat the Lightning,
Tampa Bay Lightning, in 7 games.
7 games. So we'll see who we got now.
Spoiler alert: it's not going to be us.
No, they're already out.
Yeah, we got bumped in the first round.
All right. So kind of just wrapping this stuff up. I mean, I think. Well, what they had said with Disney is, oh, what happened? Hold on to it. Don't let me know yet.
Okay.
I don't want to know. We'll wrap this up and then you can tell me. I'll guess it. All right. So what they had said after they threw all this stuff out there was, right now there's like 86 or 87 million people subscribing. They're anticipating 250 million in the next 2 years.
I saw that.
Like, this is a service that is just getting started. And
one more thing they talked about that we didn't cover.
Mm-hmm.
They're still sticking with the Premier same day theater. I know last episode we talked about HBO Max,
Mhm.
everything being lumped in. They're still sticking to that tier with, I think,
Oh,
I
with,
can't remember.
with Star? Not with Star.
No, the animated movie with like the almost like the samurai lady. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's the upcoming Disney movie, like they did Mulan, the $30, and you can buy it.
Oh, the Raya one?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You can. It's going to be the same as Mulan.
Right. Yeah.
They're not lumping the new day one purchases in with your Disney Plus. It's
Right.
still that additional 30.
Right.
So
Or
this
you
is
can
your
wait.
yeah, you can wait months to get it
Yeah.
free, but
Right.
this is your like episode 1 we talked about HBO Max and their big deal. Disney Plus in this episode gave us everything we ever wanted, but they're still sticking to their pricing, but going up in March
Right.
and keeping the premiere pass for theater releases.
Okay.
So that's our.
It's going to be, yeah, it's just,
I'm
expanding
anxious
and
to see
expanding.
what model lasts, because I already in the week since our last episode, Christopher Nolan's come out blasting HBO
he's not
Max
happy.
for what they're doing.
He's not happy.
Which also speaks volumes for Dune.
Yep.
So who knows if that model is going to hold up even to those movies releasing.
No, I think that's maybe like a one and done type of thing. I don't know, but I mean, you're setting the precedent. Like you're doing this, and then you're going to pull it, like kind of pull the rug out.
Yeah.
That's not going to make people happy if you go back to kind of the status quo in 2022.
So
So
for us, we were singing its praises, but we didn't even talk about or think about that it was adversely affecting the movie itself and the directors and everyone involved. So
yeah. I don't know. We shall see, but definitely a lot coming. So I'm happy about that. All right. Who we got? So I mean, based on your reaction alone, I'm going to say it's clearly like a rival. So I can't imagine they would have the Wild win. No. Come on.
the Avalanche finished the season 44-31-7. Your Stanley Cup champions are the Minnesota Man Bear Pigs.
How?
I don't know. I think they beat the Rangers. Oh, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, thanks to your Rangers.
Game's
Thanks
terrible.
for that one.
Game's terrible. Throw it in the trash.
Yep. NHL 20, it's broken.
We're only gonna 2 weeks and we're already gonna be done with this segment. I can't.
We started so high.
I know. And now we're
definitely not Avalanche homers here.
Well,
I can promise you.
Kept it in the division anyway. Kept it in the division. So
yeah, we'll take it back.
Avalanche week 1, Minnesota week 2. We'll see who week 3 is.
Yeah.
Next week. All right. That'll be it for today. Sir, follow Mr. Kyle Sullivan on Twitter at
Shaggy Von Doom.
Yep.
Also,
yeah.
Keep your eyes out for the secret word.
Hey. What could that mean? I don't know.
I will not give you any more description.
Oh, but you did. Oh, that was brilliant. All right. That's going to be, and follow my Twitter stuff at LOPN_Avalanche. And that'll be it. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in week 2. See you next week.
Bye-bye.